Musk says trans child was figuratively killed by the woke mind virus. Vows to destroy it. My son is dead. Musk said he wasn't informed that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs when he was tricked into giving consent. Now, I find that pretty amazing because even I knew that's what they were. They were sterilization drugs. There's a clip here that Elon Musk moved SpaceX headquarters from California to Texas. Domestic extremist author Peachy Keenan and Dr. Sheila Nazara joined Fox News at night to discuss why he is ditching the Golden State and their take on the Secret Service failures following the Trump assassination attempt. Plays for 5 minutes and 24 seconds. Let's have a listen.
And the author of Domestic Extremist, one of America's great writers, Peachy Keenan, and the star of Netflix Skin Decision, Before and After, pro-Israeli activist Dr. Sheila Nazarian. Thank you both for coming on here. I don't know. Did you see the meme where the bear is walking off the California flag and he's like, "F this place"? He's looking up. I thought it was very funny, but it kind of goes along with Elon Musk and this whole thing. So the LA Times says the following here. Elon Musk says he's moving SpaceX and X headquarters from California to Texas, pointing to a new state law that prohibits mandating that teachers notify families about student gender identity changes. Musk tweeted that he is moving the headquarters of SpaceX from Hawthorne to the company's launch site in Texas. The move would be a blow to Southern California. It really would be a blow. But Elon Musk said a year ago, listen, Newsom, this is a bad idea. This is not the way you want to go.
Right. I mean, I think the only solution for California now is if Elon just buys the state.
Right.
I mean, I want Elon to take me with him. Can he stick me one of his trucks and I'll just drive with him?
He'll just fire you down there in a rocket,
right,
Peachy.
yeah.
That'll be the easiest thing. I mean, it's going to hurt Southern California. It really is, because the industry is big. But, you know, at the same time, you know, people have warned. Most of California does not want this law, and Newsom is shoving it down their throats.
And, you know, Peachy has 5 kids.
Yep.
I have 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
The school calls me when my kid gets like a scratch on their hand.
Right.
They're not going to call me and let me know that my child wants to do something as drastic as this. It makes absolutely no sense.
It makes no sense at all. Speaking of no sense, let's put this up because this is the Peachy Substack. It's called Headline Homeland Insecurity in the Wake of Corey's Death, meaning the firefighter who was killed in the attempted assassination on President Trump, and the miraculous intervention that allowed Donald Trump to survive a headshot by an AR-15 wielding assassin. Changes need to be made today. That cannot wait until January. If incompetence and negligence are to blame, then the leaders in charge of Homeland Security are authoring a slow-motion genocide of American civilians and even a former president. I mean, the whole thing is, we need to know, and you've reiterated this, we need to know the security plan here, right, Peachy?
That's right. I mean, this goes all the way to Alejandro Mayorkas. I called him, you know, he's like the master of mayhem in this country. Just all the deaths from illegal immigration. We've talked about this. And now the Secret Service. I always thought the Secret Service was like the one agency you could trust. Their job is very difficult, but it's simple. You have a perimeter. They have all their, where to put the snipers. I assumed they knew what they were doing. And this is just the most shocking reveal that yet another institution in America is like this incompetent.
But we talked about this, Sheila, back when, you know, these anti-Israel protests were happening on campus. We said, what's the plan here to break these things up? What is the plan to get them out of these certain buildings? And there was no plan. Like this year, like, where was the plan? And there was no plan. And we see this again and again.
Yeah, I mean, they, you know, have failed on so many levels. And also, it's almost like normal now. You know, is anybody shocked? Like, you said you were shocked. I'm not shocked.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked. I mean, but I still, and we're going to talk about this later, still haven't had a press conference from DOJ, from DHS, from Secret Service. Why not? I'm waiting. Dr. Nazarian, you asked on X, how will Trump destroy America? Going on to say, quoting here, who has allowed political violence in the wake of George Floyd and pro-Hamas people chanting intifada in the streets? Who has created an environment where they have demonized their political opponent for 8 years, calling him a fascist, wrote a white supremacist, and literal Hitler? Couple that with the normalization of political violence, and what do you get? What do you get?
You get an assassination attempt. I mean, and you get people going on Twitter and on Instagram and at concerts, which we'll discuss, saying, why did he miss? I hope he didn't miss. I mean, the moral bankruptcy right now that we're witnessing of people saying, I wish a human being would have been shot and killed. I mean, what has to lead up to that other than the demonization and dehumanization of that person that people now want to see dead on live television?
Yeah. By the way, you talk about miss. We're talking Tenacious D's, Kyle Gass. He said, don't miss Trump next time. I want to play this soundbite and we'll get Peachy's final thoughts on this.
Happy birthday, dear Kyle. Happy birthday to you. Make a wish, Canada. Don't miss Trump next time.
Yeah, very funny. He got dropped by his agent, and he's suffering some consequences there.
Yeah, and that's just, shows us that there's one party that's the party of extremism in this country, and it's not the Republican Party. I think that probably 90% of the Democrats in America probably kind of agree that they were kind of disappointed that this did not actually go the way they wanted on Saturday. And the fact that his agent, who I assume is also like a liberal Democrat, dropped him is really incredible. I mean, Trump is getting his enemies sort of cancel themselves.
Yeah.
He's growing very powerful.
Yeah, it really is. Peachy Keenan, Sheila Nazarian, thank you.
All right, so here's what's written. I've already read it. It's most interesting. Tesla and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk said he was tricked into giving consent for his child to go on puberty blockers, adding that he believes the woke mind virus figuratively killed his son. Well, you'd think he'd do a little bit of research into it before he went ahead and signed off on having his son take that transition to becoming a female. Musk made the comment in an interview with Dr. Jordan Peterson on Monday after he was asked about his thoughts on doctors performing sex change procedures on children. A practice both Musk and Peterson described as evil. Musk said that his experience with his child Xavier, who now goes by Vivian Jenna Wilson, opened his eyes to what he called the woke mind virus, which he has since vowed to destroy. It happened to one of my older boys, where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This is before I had any understanding of what was going on. Well, you'd think you'd do a little bit of research, huh? I mean, this guy's supposed to be a genius. COVID was going on, so there was a lot of confusion, and I was told Xavier might commit suicide if he doesn't, Musk told Peterson. Well, you could hire the most expensive doctors to look after your son, but you didn't. That was a lie right from the outset, Peterson interjected. Incredibly evil, and I agree with you that people that have been promoting this go to prison, Musk responded. Musk said it wasn't explained to him that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs when he gave his consent for his son to undergo the treatment. I knew that that's exactly what the sterilization drugs were. How come he didn't? He called the term gender-affirming care a terrible euphemism. I lost my son. Essentially, they call it dead manning for a reason. Musk said the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. My son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus. Puberty blockers have been shown to cause long-term fertility problems in boys. A preprint study from Mayo Clinic concluded earlier this year. The study found that puberty blockers' impacts may be permanent, disputing claims that such effects can be reversed. Let's hear what he has to say here on X.
Where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This was before I had really any understanding of what was going on. And we had COVID going on, and so there was a lot of confusion. I was told, Xavier might commit suicide if he.
That was a lie right from the outset.
Incredibly evil. and I agree with you that people that have been promoting this should go to prison.
That's
So I was
personal
tricked into doing this, it wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. Anyway, and so
Anyway, this guy's a genius, right?
lost my son essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
All right. So the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and there's lots of people in that situation now.
Right.
It's not pretty, and lots of demolished kids.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a good reason to be the final straw. All right, so let's.
So I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that, and we're making some progress.
Join the club.
Yeah. It happened to one of my.
He can do it too. He can destroy it. After an extended pause, Musk added, I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that. Vivian Musk came out as a transgender in June of 2022 around the same time. And then 18-year-old filed a request to change name from Xavier to Vivian and take her mother's last name, the Daily Mail reported. See, it's wrong when they say take her name. It's not a her, it's an it. I no longer want to be related to my biological father in any way, shape, or form, Vivian said at the time. Musk pledged to take on the woke left, likely inspired his latest decision to move the California headquarters from SpaceX to Texas, after Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill into law that will bar school districts from notifying parents if the child uses a different pronoun or identifies as a gender that's different from what's on the school records. How insane is this? This is the final straw, Musk wrote on X, his social media platform, in explaining his decision. Because of this law and many others that preceded it attacking both families and companies, SpaceX will now move its headquarters from Hawthorne, California to Starbase, Texas. I'll attach the link. Look at it, pass it along, and thanks for listening.